Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn how to create CSS. CSS means cascading style sheet. We are going to create style sheet and we are going to include that style sheet in HTML. So how we are going to create style sheet? How we are going to include that style sheet inside HTML document? Creating and inserting. Create and include create and include style sheet in HTML document. So creating style sheet, before that we should understand what is the use of style sheets in HTML. So we can create style sheet, that is style formatting. Style formatting can create that style formatting, then we can apply that formatting to HTML document. So how to create formatting, that style formatting, how to create style sheets? So here it saves a lot of work while creating style sheet. It can help, it can control the layout of multiple web pages all at once. So we can control the layout of web page, layout of multiple web pages. So at once you can control multiple web pages. That is the beauty of style sheet. Then this style sheet describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on screen. So how HTML elements? What do you mean by HTML? HTML describe the content of a web page. So when we talk about HTML, HTML describes content of web page. Content of a web page. What about cascading style sheet, CSS? So CSS in the sense it describes how HTML elements are to be displayed. HTML elements are to be displayed on screen. This is the difference between HTML and CSS. So entirely now we are going to see how to create CSS. That is CSS syntax. CSS syntax. So CSS syntax, while creating style sheet, it has two parts. One is selector, and another one is declaration part. That is declaration part. That is, we call it as block. Declaration block. It has two parts. One is selector and another one is a declaration part. So selector should be first. Selector. Then after selector, you have to specify the declaration part. Declaration part. Okay. Enclosed with open curly bracket and close curly bracket. This is the syntax. Then selector. When we talk about selector, selector is nothing but HTML element. Selector is nothing but it's a HTML element. Okay. Selector is nothing but HTML element. Example, HTML element in the sense it may be H1 tag, paragraph tag, and then H2 tag. Then so many tags are there. So anything. So selector is nothing but the selector means HTML element. We are going to select that particular element for formatting. So HTML element. What do you mean by declaration part? This declaration part, it has two values, that is name value pair. It consists of more than one declaration. It may consist of more than one declaration. So declaration in the sense, it is name value pair. Name value pair, that is property and name value in the sense property value. Here we call it as property value. Property name and value separated by colon. We can have more than one property name and value pair inside declaration part. Here inside declaration part, I can have more than one name value pairs, that is property name. We can have more than one property name. So during that time, each name value pair is separated by semicolon. Okay. Now I'll give you one simple example. I'm going to select selector. Okay. I'm going to select selector. Example H1 tag. I'm going to apply some information. Okay. Some information for this tag H1 tag. I'm going to create style sheet H1. Okay. Then open bracket, open curly bracket, close curly bracket. For this H1, I am going to change color property. So what is the property name? Color. Then value is, I am going to give a red. Okay. Color red. Then I want to change font size. This is one thing. Only I am changing color of the content present inside H1 tag. Now I can have one more property value. I can add more than in the declaration part. Declaration means we are going to specify the property value. What kind of formatting we are going to apply for that particular tag. Here example, I have taken H1 tag. I am going to change the color information. So that declaration part should be inside curly bracket after selector. Now I can have more than one declaration. So more than one declaration, each one I'm going to specify inside curly bracket. So color I can have color blue, the same thing. Otherwise can have color red. The next property, what I'm going to change, font size. Font size 12 or 20 px. Okay. This is unit. Px is the unit for font size. This is the example. Okay, I think you all understood. Now we are moving on to this demo part. Okay. So this is with respect to CSS syntax. So after creating style sheet, how to include that style sheet inside HTML document. So I have created separately CSS cascading style sheet, that style formatting. After creating that formatting, that style information, style sheet, I am going to apply this formatting. I am going to include or embed this one inside HTML. How to include? There are three ways to include. CSS and HTML. HTML document. What are the three ways? First one is inline. Then second one is internal. Then third one is external. Okay. Inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. The inline CSS also called document level CSS. Document level CSS. So what do you mean by inline CSS? Inline CSS in the sense, along with the tag, you can specify the formatting information. This one will be applicable for individual tag. For each tag, we have a property named called style property. Style property along with the tag. Okay, this is inline. What is the syntax? Along with the tag, this is tag. Then style property. We can specify the property value here. Okay. Then content here. Content goes here. Then you have to close the tag. This is inline CSS. Inline in the sense along with the tag. Here tag may be H1 tag or paragraph tag, and then bold, italic. So you can specify any tag. This inline means it deals with that particular tag. Then internal. What do you mean by internal? What do you mean by internal? That means we have a tag called style tag. We have a tag called style tag. Inside that we have to specify those information. The style should be inside head section. The style should be inside head section. Okay. It should be inside. See. So the previous one along with the tag. Always we will include tag inside body section. So along with the tag, we have a property called style property. You have to specify the style information. Here along with the tag, it should be inside head section. We have a separate tag called style tag. Okay. So this is opening tag and this is closing tag. This is opening tag and this is closing tag. So style tag. Inside that we have to specify the style information. Example, that is selector, then declaration part. You have to specify that selector, declaration block. Okay, declaration block. This is for internal. Then what do you mean by external? External. What do you mean by external? We have a special tag called link tag. Inside head section, we have to include link tag. Link tag with H reference. So link, then relative attributes are there. Okay. REL, that is alternate path. If it is not present, link is not that. What is the relationship between the linking with the linking document? Can give them style sheet, then type of the document we are going to include, text or CSS, then H reference, then hyperlink reference, which document we are going to include. This name of the program, that is CSS style sheet, we have already created separately. I have stored that file with extension .css. It is not part of HTML document. I have already created separately CSS file. Okay. I have created, then I have to include program name .css. So this CSS file contains formatting information. The CSS file contains formatting information. So in the external, first I should create a file. First I should create a file. Create file with extension .css. Okay. So while creating, we have to specify all the formatting information inside that CSS. Syntax is the selector, the same thing. Okay, you have to follow. So we can use Notepad as editor. Then I can specify all the formatting inside that CSS. Then in the head section, in the HTML document, using link tag, I have to include that external file with extension .css using hrefs property. Okay, so here also this is internal. So in the style information, we have to specify type of file, what kind of file we are going to include, text or CSS. Okay, this is with respect to style sheets. 3 ways to include style sheet inside HTML. So now we'll see the example. This is example for inline CSS. So I have created HTML document. So doc type HTML, the first statement. Then root tag is HTML tag. This is end tag. So I have head section and body section. Body section. Here in body section, this is selector H1. Okay. So for this tag, inline CSS in the sense, for that particular tag, along with the tag, we are going to specify the formatting style information using style property. This is property name style equal to inside this is name value pair. Font size 30 point, that font style italic. Okay. So what is the content of this H1? This is inline style example H1. Then H1 again I'm going to display some information with H1 tag. I don't want to follow the same thing default. So I'm going to change the font size as 25 and font style as italic H1. In the last one, I didn't mention any style information. That means it will take the default font size and font style for H1 tag. Whenever we are using any tag, it has some default browser setting is there. It has some default value. Generally, default value for H1 is 18 pixel PT. Now, save this file. So, I'm going to run this file, inline CSS. So, this is inline style example. So, if you see here, see the program. So, H1 style font size 30 points. If I want to increase, I can give 50. Okay, I'll save this file. Then I'll run this. See, it got changed. All H1 tag only. All 3 tags are H1 tag. I'm going to use inline CSS. So inline CSS in the sense, along with the tag, we are going to specify the property value style property. Okay. Here I can give, instead of italic, Courier font is there, font style. Sorry, bold, italic. That is font name. You can change font name also. So here bold, then I can save, then I can give here font size. If I change 60, I have to save. This is called inline CSS. See, it got changed. Generally H1 tag is in bold only by default. Then next one is internal. What do you mean by internal? Inside HTML document, we are going to embed style sheet information using style tag. Here we have separate tag called style tag. This is starting tag and ending tag. We have to include those formatting information, that CSS style sheet, inside style tag. It should be in head section. It should be in head section. In the previous example, inline CSS in the sense along with the tag. That means all the tags, what are all the content we are going to display on the web page, it should be inside body tag. So H1 tag, H3 tag, H1 tag. Here, if you look into this is inline. Now, I have created internal. That means internal CSS or document level. That means along with HTML document, I am going to include these properties. Style sheet. So style sheet, style type is equal text or HTML. This is selector, H1 selector. Then name value pair. That is property name and value. So after that, wherever H1 is appearing, the same formatting will be taken because we have applied in the document level. That means entire document, entire HTML document, the same thing will be repeated. Let's save this. If I run this, okay. What is that? Internal document level. See here, this is document style example. Then second one, see H1. The next, for our understanding, the difference between H1 and H3 tag. Okay, it has different formatting. So I have given H1, here H3. Again I have used, I'll not use this. Okay, then you know that will come to know. Here H1 and H1. Okay, wherever H1 is appearing inside the document, it will affect. Okay, because here I have created CSS for H1 for selector. Selector is H1. That means for that particular element we are going to apply this formatting. So wherever H1 is appearing, see here H1, then one more H1, then again I'll use one more H1 tag. Okay, one more H1 tag. H1, I have given some other text AAA. Now if you see the difference, see, you can see the difference here. Document style, see, all are same font. This is H1, this is H3, this is H3, so smaller font. This is H1, this is H1, the same formatting applied. Now what I am going to do, this is the cascading style sheet. Okay, so cascading style sheet, if I use internal style sheet here, so I'm going to apply H1. Okay, I'm going to apply some formatting to H1. This is called inline. Okay, I have already created one style sheet, that is document level. It will affect all H1. So H1 will have the same font size 21 or 25 and the font style is italic. But for this tag, I have applied inline formatting. So inline style sheet. So what will happen? This is the priority, based on priority, that cascading order of cascade. We have three types, right? Three, how to include inline, internal and external. Three things are there. So while using all three types, then it will have some order to execute. So what will be the order? Inline, internal and external. Inline has the highest priority. Within the document, we are applying some formatting for H1 tag. We have created separate CSS file for H1 tag, that is external. We have created inline using the tag, style tag inside head section. We have created inline for H1 tag. So whenever we are executing that, it will take priority. Priority in the sense inline has the highest priority. It will be applicable. See here. If I am not using this style information, just I'll cut this, save this file and then run this file, document style. So all, if you see all H1 tag, this is document style, BBB, AAA, all same style and font size and style. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to include, because wherever H1 is appearing, it will affect. Now what I'm going to do for this H1 or this H1, I'm going to change the style information. Already I have created. Again, I have used inline for H1, that particular H1. That means it has highest priority. This information will be applied to that particular content, even though we have already created. I didn't save the file. Whenever we are making some changes, should save the file. Now document style. See here. BBB, because I have reduced font size. I have reduced font size. Inline 10 points. If I increase here, it will not take 25 pt, point 25. It will not take font sizes 25. Here I am going to give 70. Okay, 70. It will affect that particular H1. It has highest priority, even though two things are there. This is document style. See here, this is the difference. Okay, this is priority, cascading order. It will create virtual order. Then third one is external style sheet. So what do you mean by external style sheet? I have created separate CSS. See here, I have already created. Okay, I have already created. Here H1, H3 and paragraph. For all three tags, you can combine more than one tag, a selector. The previous one we have given only one selector. So what I can do, see, I'll remove this H3. I have H1 selector. Okay, I have H1 selector. For that I am going to apply font size and font style, font weight. I'll save this file as .css extension. So don't forget, because we are going to create separate file with .css extension. So I have created selector and that particular declaration part, selector part and declaration part. Selector is nothing but HTML HTML element and property values, name value pair. I have saved this file as .css extension. Then I have created separate HTML file. I am going to link that file. Okay. What is the name of the file? I have given styles.css. It is in the current working directory. So I have specified only file name. Okay, that is relative path. If you have in some other directory, complete path you have to specify. That is URL. You have to specify that URL. Type is text or CSS. So there in styles.css, I have changed the formatting information of H1 tag, font size and font style. Now, if you go and run this program, external style sheet, see here, this is external style sheet BBB and this is external style sheet example. Here I have given H1 tag. Okay, this one will be applicable. to this H1 tag because I have created selector for H1. I didn't create paragraph and H2 and H3, whatever is there. I want to apply the same formatting for all tags, paragraph tag, H2 tag and H3 tag. What I can do here, I can specify more than one selector separated by comma. I want to apply the same formatting for H1 tag, H3 tag and paragraph tag. So I can create like this. Okay, then I'll save this. See, the same formatting for all tags. Same formatting for all tags. This is external. Here in document level also, if you want to apply the same formatting for H3 tag, and we have H1 and H2, H3 tag, you can save this. Then you can run this. That is document level or inline. The same thing because this is inline. This is inline. These two things are four or same formatting. If you remove inline, this is document style. If you remove this inline, I don't want this inline. Okay. So I'll save this file. And then I'll run this. All same formatting. See here. So we can apply for more than one selector also. This is external. This is document level. I hope you all understood. If any clarification, if you want with respect to CSS, what is CSS, what is the CSS, how to create style sheet, and what are all the different ways to include CSS style sheet inside HTML document, you can go through this video. It will be helpful for you. Thank you.